In culture of jiu-jitsu, people don't really like too much when you do strength. They feel like, oh, you should only do technique. You're being too aggressive. You're using so much strength and all that. Wrestlers, they don't care about that. They don't care at all. They want to, like, if they are using strength, oh, that's good for me. I'm going to use my strength. I'm going to use my power. I'm going to make you give up. I'm going to try to hurt you if I can.
Welcome to the Combat Creative Podcast, where we explore the heart of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, uncovering its creative, entrepreneurial, and leadership qualities with guests who embody what it means to be a leader in our BJJ community. Now on 3, 1, 2... Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Combat Creative Podcast. I'm excited for today because I have one of the most exciting jiu-jitsu competitors right now, Mr. Daniel Sathler. Daniel, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. It's my pleasure to be here in the podcast.
Good. Thank you, buddy. So we are here in Orlando. Daniel is in town for the holidays, visiting his girlfriend, and we have a mutual friend, Lucas Pinheiro.
Yeah.
And I thought it would just be a great chance to just learn a little bit more about you. You've had some you probably have seen some of Daniel's highlights from this year. So let's take a few moments to get to know him as a person, not just as an athlete. So Daniel, can you just share a little bit about how you got started into jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, so I started in jiu-jitsu when I was 7 years old. My family really liked watching fights, and then back then was, I think, 2007, 2008. They started watching the guys like Royler, the guys that were actually doing good in MMA, and they all with the jiu-jitsu style. So they wanted to introduce me to some martial arts, so we tried capoeira. I don't know if you know. It's a kind of like a dance.
It's a dance style,
yeah.
My professor, one of his black belts, opened up a school, and it's jiu-jitsu and capoeira. I was like, what is this?
Yeah,
so that's what you started?
Yeah. My first martial art was capoeira. I think that's pretty common in Brazil. It's either you go soccer or you go capoeira.
Really?
And
okay,
I did
awesome.
Capoeira, yeah. And then after I did jiu-jitsu, because capoeira, they don't have a lot of competitions. So my dad wanted me to try something so I could track my evolution through competition.
So how long have you been training now?
I think we're 2025, so 17 years.
17 years. Yeah.
Yes.
Black belt. You've won a few IBJJF world titles.
Yeah,
Not at black belt yet, but
Not
soon.
Yet. Soon.
What did you say? Purple, blue, brown?
Yeah, all the belts, just not the black belt. Yeah.
Okay, but it's coming.
It's coming, yeah, for sure. I got third place in my first year as a black belt, and now it's gonna be my second year, and we're gonna chase it. We're gonna look for
Let's go.
Let's go.
Now, folks, he's wearing a rash guard. We were talking earlier. I'm a big fan of the gi, but he does both. But you say you've been preferring no gi lately.
Yeah, I feel like I prefer no gi because it's more like a freestyle. I feel like I don't have anything holding me, and it's not my goal to hold the guy as well. So if you're trying to stall in the no gi, it's a little bit harder.
It
so.
is.
Like I said, I like both, but I have my preference to no gi because I like aggressiveness.
Yeah.
Aggressivity, sorry.
No, absolutely. Which, folks, I encourage you to check out some of Daniel's fights or his matches if you haven't already. They're entertaining. Why is that? Jiu-jitsu can be boring. So why have you kind of come up with that like aggressive, agile, exciting style?
Man, I feel like I said, no gi helps me a lot to be more aggressive, Not saying that in the gi I cannot be aggressive, but I feel like no gi, like the fight happens like faster, I have a lot of wrestling training partners, so I kind of get that from wrestling as well, on like being aggressive, making the guy give up, like use my strength and not worry about it, or I'm like just going 100%.
Well, yeah, you just kind of go for it, I feel like. So you had your flying triangle off the wall at Karate Combat.
Yeah.
I mean, did you plan to do that ahead of time?
Man, not at all, man. I haven't ever even trained that before. I mean, the flying triangle, I did practice, but from the wall, I had never trained before. So it was just something like the guy was like pushing me and trying to like put me against the wall. I feel like some guys are using that as a strategy when they fight in the pit where there's walls. So they think it's a good idea to push the guy and kind of like close the space so they can like put pressure on you. So I was kind of having a hard time. So my first in my mind, I wanted to not be with my back on the wall because it's like that. So you kind of like try to post and then you fall. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're going to slide.
Yeah, and then eventually I'm like, damn, this guy's so strong. He's trying to like push me against this wall. I'm not being able to kind of like circle the mat, so I'm just gonna climb the wall and see what I can do. And then I climbed the wall, and then as soon as I looked at him, I feel like I had like the vision of his upper body, and I'm like, some voice came to like go, and I went for it.
And did you finish with the arm bar on it from it?
Yeah, first I close the triangle, and then as soon as I hit the ground, I break my falls, and then I see the arm extended right there. I'm like,
nice.
Oh, it's time for it.
Daniel, also, you just a couple weeks ago, you had another really exciting match.
Yeah.
Flo kind of has it up there as maybe one of the most exciting matches of the year.
Yeah.
And as somebody who just watched it, I couldn't agree more. And I saw a lot of wrestling takedowns. There wasn't much guard playing in that match, which I loved to see.
I do.
Talk a little bit about that match, what you enjoyed about it, maybe what you learned from it as well.
I mean, it was a great match, even though the decision was not for me. I felt like that was a life experience, you know what I mean? In a short amount of time, that's the match that happened like a lot of stuffs in sequence, So the first 2 minutes, my nose started bleeding, something hit on it,
Yeah.
And then after my nose started bleeding, I clean it, and then okay, we fight again, and then I hit my head on the guy's forehead and open up a big scar and it started bleeding.
I think I still see the cut
it's
there.
A little, yeah, you can
and
see.
then you got taken down into the table.
Yeah, but first thing, I had like something to wipe it to not be blood, and then like I would.
It looked like it kept covering your eyes.
My eye, yeah. So it's either I had to choose, either my eye is going to be covered or I lift a little bit and the bloods are going to come on my eye. So I had nowhere to go. I'm like, oh, all right, I'm just going to accept it and fight the way it's supposed to be.
Are those types of matches fun for you?
Yeah, I liked a lot. I feel like it was, like I said, it was a life experience, It's easy to feel confident when everything is going your way, But the fighter that you are is gonna show a lot in the days that like everything goes wrong, like this day, everything went not on my way, but I found a way to just keep going and keep fighting, So that's, like I said, it's a life, and I was able to send my message as well to the public, It doesn't matter what happens, I'm gonna still fight.
Love it. As we are here at the beginning of 2025, what do you see for like the future of jiu-jitsu here in America, throughout the world? Maybe what are you excited about? What are you looking forward to?
I feel like the jiu-jitsu in 2025 is going to start a new era where jiu-jitsu never had before, If you see 5 years ago, the jiu-jitsu, it wasn't where it is right now. You know what I mean? It's more events, paying the athletes, bringing more attention to it. So I feel like if I had to predict, I would say in 5 years, jiu-jitsu is going to be just like MMA. That's my prediction.
That would be exciting. We are seeing a rise in like the private grappling events, super fights. You've been in several of those, Karate Combat, Who's Number One. Were those not around that many years ago? I don't think they were. I mean, I was just getting into jiu-jitsu, so I got to tie into from your experience.
No. Like a couple years ago, I'd say like 5-10 years ago, there were just, I'll say maybe Polaris, in Europe.
Yeah.
Metamoris as well, but like once in a while, Right now we're in an era where like even UFC is into the business right now, so
which is good because they have the money, they know how to they're successful in combat sports. So I'm hoping to see how they can take that experience and apply it to jiu-jitsu and hopefully help grow it.
They make the athletes become celebrities.
That's what Dana White talks about. Is you got to make these athletes celebrities.
Hey, real quick, are you a jiu-jitsu professor or athlete who's struggling to keep up with creating content for your business or your personal brand? Well, listen up, because we get it. Content creation isn't easy, especially when you're running a business or training full time. If you would rather focus on what you do best and leave the content to the professionals, then please reach out to us here at Combat Creative. We've worked with world champions like Lucas Pinheiro, helping him create 30 pieces of content every month, and the results have been insane. His reach has grown by 278%, reaching almost 500,000 new accounts every month. If you are ready to grow your brand and become an authority in our community, let's make it happen. Visit combatcreativemedia.com and we'd be happy to help you. Now back to the episode.
And they've done that in MMA. Let's see if you could do it in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I just heard Dana White say that when you come out of the tunnel, whether they're cheering for you or booing, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because you're a celebrity.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the guy coming out of the tunnel, the walk, and it's quiet.
Yeah, no one.
And if it is, it's up to you to give them something to love or hate. Do you have any matches coming up, or?
I'm negotiating with a couple events, so I would say 2 right now. For the moment, I cannot confirm date or anything yet because I haven't signed the contract, but we're negotiating. But I have also Worlds coming up, Pan Ams, But yeah, 2025 is going to be more exciting, more entertaining than 2024 was for sure. And also I'm going to bring some results to the table.
Love it. And he's right, folks. So he's going to have things coming up. So if you're not following Daniel already, make sure you check him out on Instagram. Any other platforms that?
Just Instagram
Just
for
Instagram?
now. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about where you're at now. So you got your black belt, 2 years ago?
It was, 2022. After I got the gold world title as
At
a brown belt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got promoted to black.
Who did you get promoted under?
Andre Galvão.
Oh, nice. So you're with Autos then.
Yeah, back then I was.
So share with the people kind of where you're living now, like where you're training.
I'm still living in San Diego right now. I'm training at Alliance there.
Okay.
I'm trying to also not be as an athlete only, but I'm trying to pass my knowledge to my students as well, so that's a goal because I know that I'm not going to be a fighter forever. Someone's going to come maybe in 10 years from now and then faster than me, stronger than me, younger than me.
It's part of the process.
Yeah, so I'm getting ready right now for the next step of my life, which is teaching, creating this ability right now and not let it for when I retire.
Have you enjoyed teaching?
It's good. It's a very rewarding thing, to see your jiu-jitsu, you passing your jiu-jitsu to someone that wants to learn. So it's a great thing as well.
Because I've met lots of athletes who, maybe they tried teaching and they don't enjoy it. It's not for everybody, but it's nice when I see, my professor's an athlete, now he's a teacher, and he says the same thing. He loves seeing his students now going and competing and doing his game
his techniques.
Or his techniques. And it's rewarding for him. It's rewarding for us. And
for sure.
Other than coaching, what else is in your future the next couple years or?
Next couple of years, man, I see myself, I want to also try MMA, when I was living in Brazil, I did some Muay Thai as well as Capoeira, I said, and I see myself doing MMA. I feel like it's a step for me, even though people think the jiu-jitsu guys, they don't know how to strike. It's not all of them. Some of them knows. And I also have a wrestling game really.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. Just maybe as somebody who has both those backgrounds, wrestling and jiu-jitsu, how do you tie them two together? How do they complement one another?
Yeah, I bring a lot of stuff from wrestling, not just the takedowns, but some concepts where it's in culture of jiu-jitsu, people don't really like too much when you do strength. They feel like, oh, you should only do technique. I'm talking about a competition training, Oh, you're being too aggressive. You're using so much strength and all that. Wrestlers, they don't care about that, They don't care at all. They want to, if they are using strength, oh, that's good for me. I'm going to use my strength. I'm going to use my power. I'm going to make you give up. I'm going to try to hurt you if I can, I just want to make you give up. So that mentality that I bring from wrestling in competition, I feel like it's helping me a lot because I'm being more aggressive, not only with my takedowns, but on the ground as well. My last match showed a lot of that, the guy wanted to make me give up, and I didn't want to give up. So yeah, for sure.
Going back to that match, it was exciting, and then you shot a flying leg attack and accidentally gave up your back, and you were kind of stalled out. The match kind of stalled.
Yeah.
But
he was on my back.
He was pretty high on your back, and
I was watching and I was like, I was about to tap, but I don't know how you guys do it. But you escaped.
Yeah.
He couldn't successfully submit you. So you escaped and you were ready to go.
Ready to go again, yeah. It was really hard for me at that moment because if you realize when I jump in the flying knee bar, I hit my head on the ground. So then when I hit my head on the ground, I kind of slept for a second, you know. And while he was going to my back, I couldn't figure out what was going on. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, I'm like, I open my eyes and the guy's like choking me. So I'm like, I was doing a lot of good techniques, and then out of the sudden, I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, he's choking me. And I was, like I said, I was ready for war. So at that point, I had to make my decision. It's either I'm gonna tap or I'm gonna sleep. So I chose sleep. I'm like,
but what happened? I mean, how did you get out of it?
And then he started squeezing me, and like I had a scar, so I felt like blood like getting squeezed too and coming on my eyes. And then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna escape from here and I'm gonna sub him. So,
which you escaped?
I did escape, but I had
there wasn't enough time.
Yeah, not enough time.
Guys, you got to follow Daniel. Exciting competitor. I'm so glad that I've had you on the show. Like he's, his wrestling is the future, the other events. Guys, before I let you go, Daniel, I'm going to do a couple rapid fire questions, like throw a couple questions. So give me quick answers.
No problem.
Daniel, what's your go-to submission?
My go-to submission? Like my favorite submission?
Yeah. What's your favorite submission?
Flying armbar.
Have you done it before?
I think I did.
Okay, nice.
A couple of times.
Do you have a jiu-jitsu hero?
I have a couple. I would say, I'm going to say one, Roger Gracie.
Why?
Because he's very effective. I like when I look to someone that has a good jiu-jitsu, what I'm going to look for is how that guy can be effective. I don't like people that goes like around and blah, 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 and then they do something. I like something
effective.
that efficient. Yeah.
Mount, cross choke, submission.
Yeah, close the guard.
Yeah.
It's really good in the gi.
Daniel, what is the most underrated jiu-jitsu technique?
Underrated, wrist lock.
Ooh, nice. Some people don't like the wrist lock.
Some people don't like that. That's what I'm saying. Some people in jiu-jitsu, they don't like very aggressive stuff. So it's too easy. Wrestlers, they don't care. Like if I have something easy, I'm gonna go for it. I don't care what you think.
Dude, we go for every other joint in the body. Go for the wrist.
Yeah.
As you as you become a teacher and may start promoting people in the future, things of that nature. Daniel, do you think promotion should be skill-based or time-based? How do you balance the two?
I would say a mix of the two, like time plus skill. But of course, I skill better. I feel like if you're progressing and I see you're really progressing and you deserve the belt, I would promote you, For example, I have an example of that, like a couple young guys. IBJJF used it to have a rule that a guy 16 years old, 17 years old, they cannot be a black belt. But sometimes a 17 years old guy is training since he was 5 years old.
Yeah,
so he has black
12
belt
years,
level. Yeah. That was me when I was 17 and I was winning those color belt titles. I would look to the black belts and I'm like, I think I have a chance.
My time's coming.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Yeah.
Sathler's coming. Do you think jiu-jitsu should become an Olympic sport?
I think if jiu-jitsu became an Olympic sport, I would love to see it just like boxing is doing. They have like Olympic boxing and they have the professional boxing like worlds and all that. So I feel like if they have a separation, that would be great.
Nice.
Maybe gi jiu-jitsu becomes Olympic and no gi just stays how it is.
Yeah, I could see that.
That would be good.
I mean, judo's in the Olympics. What's the craziest injury you've ever received?
I broke my hand when I was 16 years old. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I went for a shoot a double leg and my finger just popped on the guy's knee. And then it broke the impact made my hand.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it broke.
That's horrible.
I was 2 months without training. Yeah. But I never had any like ligament injury, any knee or anything because I take care of myself.
Nice. Daniel, what's the most embarrassing moment you've ever had in training jiu-jitsu?
The most embarrassing moment I would say was when the first time I ever slept in a training
Fell
session.
asleep.
Yeah. It was kind of late. It was after like 15 years of training. The guy in a training session, I was cutting weight for featherweight before. It was really hard. So the guy went to half guard pressure and put his shoulder on my neck, you know. So the pressure made me sleep. I was feeling like almost tapping, but I'm like, I'm not gonna tap to this. This is not even a submission. But then I slept.
Daniel, do you prefer to play guard or pass guard?
Pass guard. I feel like I have very good skills on playing guard, but I prefer to be on top always.
Last one. What is your ultimate jiu-jitsu goal?
My goal in jiu-jitsu, I want to be a black belt world champion and I want to be a ADCC champion. Those are my goals. And of course, I want to keep showing my jiu-jitsu, which is exciting, man. Very exciting, you know, athletic, you know, aggressive. I feel like that's the message I wanna send to the jiu-jitsu community and to other communities as well, you know. I was able to show that on Karate Combat. That was a very special moment for me, not only because I did the flying submission out from the pit, but there was MMA fans that have never even stopped to watch a jiu-jitsu match. So I could see that I was able to bring excitement to other communities as well.
Jiu-jitsu can be boring. We got to make it exciting.
We will, man. We will.
Love it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Daniel, thank you for coming on. And make sure you follow him, guys, with all the videos and podcasts you could be listening to on the internet. And the fact that you took time out of your day to listen to this one, we both of us here really greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you all next one. Peace.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for having me here.
Love it.